My mother has always lived in a fantasy world. She's the kind of person who thinks life should feel like a whimsical indie movie full of magic and unforgettable moments. The problem: she decided to turn her children into the main characters of that movie without our consent. My legal name, the one on my birth certificate, my high school diploma, and my social security card, was Sparkle. Not a nickname, not short for anything, just Sparkle. And I wasn't the only victim. My older brother is legally named Rainbow, and my younger sister is Cupcake. My mom's logic, which she's defended with terrifying passion for 26 years, is that the world is too gray, and she wanted us to be beacons of light. She literally told me once that naming me Sparkle would make it impossible for anyone to ever be sad around me. She was wrong. People weren't happy around me. They were confused. Or worse, they were amused. Every first day of school was a nightmare. The teacher would get to the S's on the roster, stop, squint at the paper, and then say, "Is there a Sparkle here?" followed by a ripple of snickering from the back of the room. By middle school, I stopped looking up. I just raised my hand and waited for the "is that your real name?" questions to start. My brother Rainbow had it the hardest. He's a big guy, 6'4", played defensive end in college, works in private security. Now imagine a guy who looks like a mountain having to hand over an ID that says Rainbow to a bouncer. He's been in more fights than I can count just because someone laughed when he introduced himself. He went to court the day he turned 18 and changed his name to Max. Mom didn't go to his graduation. She said he murdered the beautiful soul she gave him and replaced it with a boring stranger. She didn't call him for 6 months. The breaking point for me came last year. I was interviewing for a serious position at a law firm, my dream job after years of grueling study. I walked in polished, professional, and ready. The senior partner looked at my resume, looked at me, and chuckled. He actually chuckled. He said, "Sparkle, is this a prank? Are we on a hidden camera show?" I tried to keep my composure. I said, "No, sir. It's my legal name." He couldn't look at me for the rest of the interview. Every time he tried to ask a question about litigation or case law, he'd glance at the name Sparkle at the top of my resume and his mouth would twitch. I didn't get the job. The rejection letter was addressed to Sparkle, and I shredded it until my hands shook. That night, I looked at my bank account. I was working 2 jobs, one at a coffee shop and one tutoring, barely scraping by in an expensive city. A legal name change in my state costs hundreds of dollars when you factor in the filing fees, the background checks, and the mandatory newspaper clippings. I stopped buying coffee. I stopped going to the movies. I canceled my streaming subscriptions. For 8 months, I lived on ramen and sheer spite. Every dollar I tucked away felt like a brick in a wall. I was building between myself and the Sparkle identity. My sister Cupcake is still in high school. She started going by her middle name, Clara, but Mom refuses to use it. She screams that Clara is betraying her heritage. I see my sister shrinking every day, trying to hide from a name that feels like a neon sign she never asked for. Last Tuesday, I walked into a courtroom. The judge was a stern woman who looked like she'd seen everything. She looked at my petition and then looked at me. "You wish to change your name from Sparkle to Olivia?" she asked. "Yes, Your Honor," I said. My voice didn't waver. She signed the paper. Just like that, 26 years of being a punchline were over. When my new driver's license arrived yesterday, I didn't celebrate with a